That was good. That was good. A bit short on the story side, but overall satisfying. Now I actually feel like there's a ton of replayability and just stuff to kind of go back to and do a bunch of things that will actually keep me engaged. Overall, the experience was good. I was very happy with how the party system was very easy to it was very easy to play with other people, and I didn't really experience any crashes. I think my game crashed once during the multiplayer, and I had a little bit of a problem with the sound for some reason, because when I would play alone, like during the missions, the sound was fluent, but whenever I would have someone joining, the sound would sometimes start breaking up for some reason. I can't explain it, don't know why. But overall, I don't think it wasn't damaging to the experience. The cutscenes and the story was good. I was initially a bit worried that that like the appearance pieces, which is something that normally drives me to like replay something, that they were not gonna be as good. But like as the game progresses, I can see that like the purple items obviously look a lot better, and the legendary ones, if you can pair them with other things, they're a bit quirky, a bit like specific. But like if you pair them with other things, they can look really amazing. And overall, I'm happy with that. I still have a lot to explore. Like when it comes to the currency system, I didn't really understand like how it works with like scraps and this and that, and how I can collect enough of them to actually be purchasing things from the store. And I haven't done the, I want to say expeditions. I don't know what the name of the mode is that you unlock at the very end of Outriders. I've never done that. So I have yet to explore that thing. But this, like if you can like replay what we just did, just on like a normal mode and not like on easy mode, I can see how satisfying it is. And honestly, the game personally felt very satisfying for me, because it is my first ever like big shooter. I've never really been engaged with that kind of genre, but I'm getting interested. And I think I've gotten myself rid of a lot of anxiety that I had at the beginning of my playthrough. It was, I think when I watched my like old footage, I was like very iffy on how I even move, how I shoot, how I aim and whatnot. I'm not saying I'm good in any way, shape or form, but I think it got better, and I'm far more relaxed when I play, so the game actually did help me get from that total I know nothing stage to at least I know something. And it helped me want to actually play other games that are similar to this one. So no, definitely yes. I just today I wanted to see the story, and thank you for helping me see the story. I'm definitely gonna go back and try them for myself as well, because I feel like the game actually can help me get better. I've been feeling like blocked from like doing a lot of other content, like other games and such, where I felt like I needed to have a certain skill level to actually enjoy the story. And Outriders actually has helped me a lot with that. I am a little bit disappointed with the actual length of the campaign. I did receive this game as a sponsorship from Square Enix, and thanks again to Square for promoting the content and for giving me the game code and allowing me to enjoy the content. I can see how, if you were to pay for the DLC, how you can compare this DLC. I don't know how much it costs. I think it's like, is it like $40 or something like that? Like I can see how it's a little how it feels a little underwhelming in comparison to some other games and some other DLCs, where for the same amount of money you're getting more hours of value. But if you are into gameplay, like the actual like expeditions and trials, if you want to do that, you can have a ton of hours, and I don't think from that point of view it's underwhelming. It's only underwhelming if you are there just to see the continuation to the storyline. And I honestly think that if people are already like into Outriders, if they purchase the DLC and whatnot, I can see how most people will actually be interested in the actual post storyline gameplay. So I definitely think that it's worth it from that point of view, but I'm gonna have to go and explore that content a lot more before I can say, hey, you know, the end game or whatever is totally worth it, because I don't know yet. It does look gorgeous, it does look fun and entertaining and whatnot, but I can't say for sure how many hours there is for someone to explore that. I haven't completed all the side quests yet, like from Outriders and from the Worldslayer. So that is something that I would like to come back to and do on my own time to collect like other appearances and achievements as well, because I'm a little bit of an achievement hunter. So I feel like that is a huge amount of content for me left to explore. The base thing that I wanted to see and explore is the campaign, but I'll be coming back to this. And in case you are, yeah, definitely, I'm a huge lore person, and my main game is Final Fantasy XIV, and I am taught to appreciate the storyline and to just talk to everyone, do all of the side quests and whatnot. So for me, that is actually really important. And I even saw some comments and some reviews where people are like, oh, you're far better off just skipping all the cutscenes and just playing the game. To me, that is so not satisfying. It's like, to me, that's completely opposite of how a game should be approached. I get that attitudes of players differ greatly when it comes to what kind of genre of games they prefer. And if you are a shooter person, you might, like, I'm not trying to be prejudiced or anything, but you might have a little bit less appreciation for the actual like story. You might not want to read the journals, you might not want to read those notes or go back and do side quests and collect those notes and get like a bigger picture of what the world actually is. If you watch the previous videos like a playthrough and whatnot, they're all on this YouTube channel. There's a lot of reading in my playthrough. I've gone through all of the journals that I've collected so far. There's plenty of them to collect through the side quests, and that is something that I want to go back to because I want to get all these small details of, like, you know, just those very specific scenarios and quests and people who participated in this whole thing, who were a part of moving on to Enoch. Like, I feel like I don't have the full story yet. And Lock and Flash, and there's just grind blood. Yeah, since I'm not invested in the game in a way that I want to rush through to commit all of my time to the end game. I can allow myself to play the game very casually and leniently and just go and actually complete everything. And then if I choose to engage like with the end game in the meantime, I can also do that, and that is just very satisfying to me. I feel like there's plenty of hours within the game plus the DLC that you can explore if you want to explore the entire game. But something that I experienced with both Final Fantasy and, let's say, this game, if we compare the two of them, sometimes people will say that there is no content to be done. And I like to rephrase that into there's no content to be done that you want to do. For someone who doesn't want to do side quests, the main storyline might seem short. For someone who doesn't want to do end game, the game will feel like it stops right after the main storyline. For someone who doesn't care about appearances, they will see no value in going and replaying some of the older content as some of the appearances or whatever that they want to go through. For someone who doesn't do grinding, they are definitely not going to go and replay the content. So I'd like to say that if you like the game aspect as a whole, there is a ton of hours for you to put into the game. When it comes to the actual game design from the arts point of view, it's gorgeous. The game is absolutely gorgeous, and I think they've really delivered on this sci-fi immersion that they were trying to go for from beginning to the end, like with the anomaly, like the very premise of like anomaly and everything that was going on with it. It is very demanding, and I can see how those cutscenes were also very expensive and very hard to make the way they were made. And the game from that point of view is I think has delivered. I like the music in the sound and like the soundtrack in different zones. They weren't as stunning as I know some games have them, but I like how I can feel the change in the mood whenever the music changes. That was also very satisfying for me. And overall, I like the game. If you are not allergic to some aspect of the game that you already know you are not going to participate in at all, I would say that the game is totally worth it. I don't see why anyone who is, I don't know, repulsed by shooting or repulsed by, I don't know, doing those side quests or whatever, I don't see why they would even purchase the game in the first place and then further complain about it. I think that if you want to give all the aspects of the game a chance, you are going to have a very good experience overall. And I highly recommend that if you do decide to play the game, that you do go through these side stories. My playthrough, the original playthrough from Outriders, was a little bit longer than I thought it would be, because at some point I got sidetracked and I thought that on my first playthrough that I was just gonna be able to do the side quests as I go along. And then I got to the point where I have a massive queue of side quests, and I've kind of lost track of what I actually need to do to complete the game. So there's plenty of side quests within my playthrough that I've already done, not really kind of realizing, putting myself like on the road of finishing the MSQ before I decided to just kind of abandon them well, not abandon them, but just put them on the side for now and just focus on finishing the story. So there is, I would say that there is almost an equal amount of side quests in at least the Outriders base game to what there is within the MSQ. I can't say the same for Worldslayer because I haven't experienced any Worldslayer side quest content yet because I just went through the MSQ. But I'm going to go back and see how much of it there is. When it comes to journals, there's obviously a lot less of the lore and the journals to pick up within Worldslayer than in the Outriders. But the Outriders journals paint the whole picture of what happened since the beginning of building of like Flores and whatnot, and the Caravel up until the end of the actual games. From that point of view, you haven't missed out on anything, especially if you were collecting those journals and whatnot from the beginning of the game. So my overall impressions, like if I had to rate the game based on like my entire experience, when I take into consideration like all of the games that I play, for example, like when I rate Final Fantasy, those reviews are normally like between like 8.5 and 9.5. I give very biased reviews because obviously I can't give a review not having experienced the actual end game or doing all the side quests or whatever. Like I would say that the game is a solid 8 out of 10, including Outriders and Worldslayer. I took some points off because yes, I feel like the MSQ is a little bit too short. It's like when we reached the commander, like when we kind of when we eliminated her, I just felt like, oh, is this it? I met her yesterday, and today I was already, I already like killed her. Like, how's that possible? Like that's kind of, it was a little bit underwhelming because I thought that she was some sort of big bad that we were gonna have to, like, I don't know, work towards eliminating or whatever. I feel like that ending was a little bit rushed, but overall, I'm very happy with the game, and yeah, I'd say that it's worth it.